Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, and today we are back with some more English literature MCQs. So without any further ado, let's dive in. The first question today is Shakespeare's use of prose is usually limited to A. Asides, B. Comic scenes, C. Plays within plays, and D. Tragic scenes. So the answer of this question is B. Comic scenes. If you have read a little bit about Shakespeare, then you must know that Shakespeare wrote his plays in blank verse. Blank verse means that, sorry, blank verse means that all the lines are in iambic pentameter, but they don't rhyme with each other. That is called blank verse. However, in some comic scenes, Shakespeare has actually made use of prose. So, let's move on to the next question. Who said, if Pope is not the poet, where is poetry to be found? So, this famous statement was made by Dr. Johnson. So Dr. Samuel Johnson was actually very fond of Alexander Pope's poetry and he has praised him a lot in his work. The next question is Fans is a humorous essay by, the answer of this question is B. Addison. So you must be aware that Joseph Addison and Richard Steele used to write some very humorous essays, and this essay also featured in one of their magazines. Then the next question is to commemorate whose death did M. Arnold write Thyrsis? So Thyrsis is actually an elegy which Matthew Arnold wrote on the death of his friend Arthur Hugh Clough. In which year was The Princess published? The Princess was published in the year 1847. Let me just mark it. Princess was published in the year 1847 and it is written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. The Princess is about a princess who forswears men and she starts a university where men are forbidden. And Queen Victoria actually praised this work a lot. Question number 31. In which book of the Task by Cowper does the following line appear? God made the country and men made the town. So Cowper wrote a poem. Wait, just a second. Cowper wrote a poem, The Task, which is divided into 6 books. The book 1 is called The Sofa. The second book is called The Timepiece. The Timepiece. The third is called The Garden. Let me just erase it so I can write other names. Just a second. The fourth is called The Winter Evening. The Winter Evening. You can make it out. The Winter Evening. Then the third is called The Winter Morning Walk. And the last one is called The Winter Walk at Noon. I think you have got it by now. You can rewind and listen again all the names. So, in which book does this line appear? God made the country and men made the town. This line appears in book 1 called The Sofa. The next question is, in which book of the Task does the following line appear? England, with all thy faults, I love thee still. So this line appears in book number 2nd, and the title of the book number 2nd was The Timepiece. So for next question, in which drama of Shakespeare does the following line appear? To wit, to who a merry note. This line appears in Love's Labour Lost. Next question, where is the scene of The Devil's Disciple located? This is located in New Hampshire, and The Devil's Disciple is a part of 3 plays called Plays for Puritans, written by George Bernard Shaw. The first play is The Devil's Disciple. The name of the second play is Captain Brassbound's Conversion, and the third play is Caesar and Cleopatra. And this play, The Devil's Disciple, is set in New Hampshire. Next question. Who wrote the following line? Much have I travelled in the realms of gold. This line is written by Keats in the poem On Looking into Chapman's Homer. On looking into Chapman's Homer. So George Chapman had translated Homer's works Iliad and Odyssey, and Keats has written this poem about that work. Burns' father was A. a poor peasant, B. a rich businessman, C. a collier, D. a bank official. The answer is A. a poor peasant. Robert Burns is a Scottish Nobel laureate, and you must be aware of some of his most important works. Who took Gray abroad? So it was Horace Walpole who took Thomas Gray abroad. Horace Walpole also, you must be aware, he is called the father of Gothic fiction. So while you are preparing, you should not just read the question and its correct answer, you should also get a little bit more information about the other options. The next question. Wilberforce was mainly working for Dash in the 18th century. He was working for the liberation of slaves. Next question. Who wrote the lines? Just a second. Who wrote the lines? There is not flesh in man's obdurate heart, it does not feel for man. So this appeared in Cowper's work, and he wrote these lines against slavery. So this just came here, but this is actually the explanation. Next question. Which one of the following was not a part of the general nature of Anglo-Saxons? So fondness of a lewd way of living was not a part of Anglo-Saxon poetry. Or love for personal freedom was there, love for religion was there, respect for women was also there, but option C was not there. Then next is, the main aspect of Anglo-Saxon language was vigor, obscurity, sweetness, incoherence. The answer is vigor. Next is, the first important expression of melody is made in the works of, it is D. Chaucer. Next is, which among the following could not be described as the matter of early verse romance? So early verse romance did feature Britain, because we are talking about British romances. They did talk about Rome also, and they did talk about France also. However, there is no mention of Spain. So the correct answer is Spain. Next is, in which year was Armada defeated? Armada was defeated in the year 1588. Armada was a fleet of ships which was sent by Spain to attack on England. However, it was defeated in the year 1588. Then the next question is, when did Bacon die? Francis Bacon, the famous essayist, died in the year 1626. Then the next is, when was the first divine right of kings proclaimed? The first divine right of kings was proclaimed in the year 1604. And what does this proclamation state? It states that the king derives his authority from God, and no parliament or any other authority can challenge his actions. Question number 47. Who wrote the ode Come Leave the Loathed Stage? So this was written by Ben Jonson. This ode is also called Ode to Himself. And in his early career, Ben Jonson faced a lot of failures, and that's when he wrote this ode to himself saying that he should leave the stage now. However, he does conclude in his poem that he shouldn't lose heart, because even if art does not make any monetary profit, it still holds some value. Question number 48. How many dramatists were with Ben Jonson in fighting against the romantic tendency? And the answer is he was alone. Nobody supported him. Next is, which meter has been used by Chaucer in his Troilus and Cressida? So the correct answer of this question is rhyme royale. Rhyme royale is a form of stanza which Chaucer used, and the rhyming scheme of this is A B A B B C C. And this is called rhyme royale because later King James I used it for his work. That's why this got the name of rhyme royale. Next is, who is the writer of Piers Plowman? So the correct answer is William Langland. This is a dream allegory about the corruption of clergy. So with this question we end today's series, and these questions are taken from DU practice book, which is linked in the description below. If you want to practice yourself, then you can get that book from the description below. And I hope that you found this video useful. All the very best for your preparation, and I will see you in the next video.